Hello everyone, how are you doing? Welcome to another compo hype video. This time we're going to talk about the Amiga demo compo, or should I say the Amiga demo compo for revision. Back to the eWork 7th to 10th of April. Saarbrücken, Germany, 7th to 10th. This is 1 week away. I'm not stressing, you're stressing. Why am I stressing? I haven't finished my demo yet. Let's talk about the Amiga demo compo. Very important demo scene competition. In this party in particular, Revision is the successor to Breakpoint. Breakpoint was the successor to Mecha Symposium. Mecha Symposium was the successor to both Mecha and Symposium that got merged together. All of them were like the highlight of the international Amiga demo scene. So a lot of good high quality demos get thrown into this Easter party that happens every single year. So it's like the major event for the Amiga demo scene happening. You should check the competition rules if you're using Amiga AGA, if you're using the older Amiga, the ECS OCS version. There's some specific rules here. Make sure to check them. I think the main rule is that Vampire is not allowed. Other than that, it's fine. Everything is recorded from hardware. They do have the hardware there, so it should be fine. But make sure you read these rules. Nonetheless, I'm remembering that there are a few interesting seminars on how to make demos for the Amiga, and unfortunately I did not prepare them before starting to record the video, but I will put them on the description below. So if you're interested in doing demos for Amiga and you don't know where to start, there are a few seminars by Abyss. They gave a few decent seminars. Kiero also gave a good seminar, and Haujobb people also gave a few seminars. A few good seminars out of the top of my head, so I will link those three on the description below so you can start making some Amiga demos. We need more Amiga demos in the world. So 2011, the first year of revision, we have a total of 5 entries, which is not that bad for Amiga, since Amiga is not as popular as it used to be in terms of people doing stuff for it. PC kind of took over that, but there are always some crazy people doing stuff. People like TRSI, people like Decadence, people like Scarla, people like Elude, and people like Ghost Town and Loonies. Ghost Town and Loonies did this awesome human traffic demo that won the demo compo, and Elude got the second place once again. Elude are known in the demo scene for being cursed to always getting second place. Elude started off by being members of Madwizards, which was a Polish group, or mostly Polish, but has some international members as well, who always participated at Breakpoint before revision, and they always got second place against the Black Lotus. They would only win when the Black Lotus would not participate. And after Madwizards stopped using their name, some of the more active people from Elude, from Madwizards, formed this Elude group, and they carried on the curse of always getting second place. So they got a few second places at Breakpoint, and now when revision kicked off, second place. In 2012, back to the Amiga demos compo, Desire made a new production. Desire were inactive for many years, and then they came back. I think it was around this time. I could be wrong. Artway also very active on the Amiga throughout the years. Amigans, I have no clue, but they seem to be Hungarian. Focus Design, also a very strong group based out of Denmark, if I'm not mistaken. Also always doing some very cool Amiga stuff. Elude, the curse, second place for real all the time. And then the same people were not happy doing just one demo, so they did 2 demos. And Madwizards got first place and Elude got second place. So they managed to share it low because the Black Lotus was not participating. So obviously the Madwizards managed to win the compo. In 2013, we see the return of Ghost Town and Loonies. They got first place again. Very good steampunk demo that became quite an icon in the demo scene. Second place to Elude. Moods Plateau, which usually releases some Amiga stuff as well, also participated. The Danish Underpants Brigade with Focus Design also did a filler demo here. And Fartway, which I think is a funny group spin-off of Artway, but I could be wrong, did this filler entry as well that ended up being 5th place. If you don't know what the hell a filler entry means, it's like something that a group does to make sure that the compo exists. Because if a competition has lower than 3 entries, it's usually cancelled. So there are always some groups that do just productions for the sake of doing some productions. They just take some old effects, maybe just code one effect, recycle some stuff, have some funny joke or some interesting message, and they do that, and they call it a compo filler. So it helps fill up the competition with more entries to make sure that the competition still happens and that it will get more recognition. And there are always some people who do some compo fillers and some people who do like the winner productions that like aim to get the first place. So Elude got in second place again. I'm not sure what you call when a production, when a team does a very good demo but always ends up getting second place. Cursed, aiming to be the cursed demo. I don't know. The moral winner of the party. In 2014, the Black Locust was back. And of course, Elude got second place. That's normal. Yomi by Artway in third place, and Vertigo by Y-Crew from Sweden, if I'm not mistaken. Also doing a compo filler entry for Amiga this year. Rift, very good demo. Also became legendary in the demo scene. All demos from the Black Lotus are legendary in the demo scene. Like, name one the Black Lotus demo that was not the big hit when it came out. It's probably not very recent. It's probably like from the 90s or something like that. So yeah, Elude second place yet again, but I love Elude. They're great guys, and they make great demos. Then the next year, 2015, QA Party Invitation, Reset Canny Invitation, Retro Compo Invitation. So the Invitation Compo, Artway also did a demo as usual. The gang also delivered something, the MacGyver theme to be precise. They did like this video conversion thing. Quintessence by Moods Plateau, also doing a filler demo for the compo. nah-kolor, which overlaps some people with Moods Plateau, if I'm not mistaken, but they also managed to do something. nah-kolor is a group that's been active for a very long time as well, since the 90s, and they always do some Amiga stuff as well. And then Sushi Boys by Ghost Town won the competition yet again. So congratulations, Ghost Town, for your third revision win with Sushi Boys. 2016. Disk Space by Laser Base, which I have no recollection of whatsoever. Evil Starter featuring Evil Bot there by Artway. Artway always doing a filler production. They like to support the Amiga scene a lot. Unity releasing Chip Tuner. Xulu with some Evil Bot references as well. Lemon, a group that came back to the active scene after many years being inactive. They're also a legendary Amiga group, and they stick to doing Amiga demos. Really cool to see this comeback. I don't think this was the first comeback demo that they did. I think they did the Redux version of another demo first, but it's cool to see them active again. Serotonin by Attention Whore. Ghost Town got third place doing a Thankthrow demo. Thankthrow is an intro where you are thanking people for something. And this situation in particular goes down the previous year when they wanted to go back home. They noticed that their van was stolen. There was nowhere to be seen, or it broke down. It was something like that. I think it was stolen, but maybe it was broken down, something like that. And they were like, okay, now we're screwed. How the hell are we going to get back home? And the party organizers went out of their way to help them figure out their situation. So this was a little thank you demo that they did in appreciation for the support of the party organizers. I mean, the party organizers are so busy organizing the party, they don't have time to help, 3 people out of 800 visitors in case they have car troubles. But they went out of their way to try to make sure that they were taken care of. So this is a little appreciation intro. Unique getting second place. Unique been relatively active in the Amiga scene throughout the years as well. Mostly Dotke pushing it on that front, and he usually gets around second place, third place. And it's cool because Unique was originally a PC group, and then they became interested in doing code for Amiga, because why not? And they started doing more Amiga stuff, slowly getting the hang of it and doing some interesting stuff, and slowly climbing the ranks throughout the years. I think there is one year in particular that they actually win the demo competition. Dolor Sid Ahmed by Lauren Ipso won the compo, and if you check the people behind it, it's the same people from Elude. When they change the name of Elude, the curse disappears and they don't get second place. They manage to win the compo. So, if you're getting stuck getting second place for many years in a row, maybe that's the way, just change your group name. Maybe people will start name voting for you if they don't know who you are anymore. I'm joking. 2017. Here we go. This is the year that Unique won, which was an interesting win because Blast of the Past was pretty hyped as well, a pretty good demo, and it was very close in votes if you see like the votes here. Green Artifact by Software Failure from Ham from Spain, pretty much. He keeps the Amiga scene very active, always trying to do a support intro at some point. Usually he does intros, not demos. In this year in particular, he did a demo. Insane also released something. Moods Plateau as usual. Spilpepon, I have no clue who they are, but they did an OCS demo. Negative Process by Iphedrina, Iphedrina, a Norwegian group that's been active on the Amiga scene very long time. They always do some very interesting, stylish demos. I always love seeing what they come up with. Here, getting the 5th place. Katabasis by Cocoon, also a legendary group, both active in the original Amiga scene. They also collaborated a lot with Syndrome, which was also an original Amiga group, and they overlapped a lot. On the PC scene, they've been doing a lot of demos as well and growing up a lot. And then on 2017, by some reason, they decided to do an Amiga demo again, because they had Amiga coders, so why not? So yeah, really cool to see this groups going back and forth between PC and Amiga as well. Then we had Chapter 7 by Skarla, which I believe are a Swedish group as well. Blast from the Past by Lemon and the Deadliners. They're putting Amiga OCS back in the map. And I think this was one of the years, or well, the previous year already, where people started noticing that a lot more Amiga groups are targeting the OCS ECS platform instead of the Amiga AGA. Amiga AGA is more powerful. You can do more stuff. Usually you start to see more 3D scenes on Amiga AGA and more demos based out of doing, fake 3D or 3D with pre-baked lighting and shadows and things like that, and that gives like the technical superiority of things. Make sure you have full frame rate with good features on a 3D engine on Amiga AGA. And on Amiga OCS ECS, it's very hard to have those kind of complex 3D scenes. You always have to go for like flat shaded stuff or wireframe stuff if you want to do 3D at all. So it's really cool that people picked back up those constraints of the earlier Amiga and machines and started doing more things about it. And it's more about design and image and concept, which makes the demo a lot more interesting. It has a lot more replay value, in my humble opinion. And the winner was Singularities, made for AGA, so breaking completely the concept of what I was talking about, that the OCS starts getting a little bit more recognition. Unique still targeting AGA, having this demo with quite a few 3D scenes in the middle of it, with some 2D overlays, and they won the compo by a few votes, but they managed to win the compo, so congratulations to Unique. I'm skipping a year. What happened to 2018? I'm skipping a year. Where's 2018? 2018, here we go. 2018, Amiga Demo Compo, A Low by Void, A Blood Moon by nah-kolor, Inveterates by Attention Horror, Part 2 Horizons by Unique, they got 3rd place again. Iphedrina back on the doing Amiga demos again. They did the Haxel experimental little production, which was really cool. And the winner was The Fall by Lemon and Deadliners. Amiga OCS ECS, as I was saying, a lot more groups. Like some of these are like old groups that came back to active after 10-15 years of being inactive, and they target the Amiga OCS ECS platform in particular, which is really interesting to see. Let's go back to 2017. We already did 2017. Let's go back to 2019. So in 2019, this was the year of Eon of the Black Lotus. The Black Lotus came back to active, and this compo was really good compo. This was the best compo of the party. A lot of groups came back on the Amiga scene, groups that you haven't seen around. A lot of the regulars did a demo again. We had a couple of more invitations as usual. The Electronic Knights did something as well. Moods Plateau. I'm not sure who Almagest is. Noise also did something. Rip Shadow. Sad to hear about him passing away. Brutalismo Capsule hadn't been doing demos for many years, and they were active again. A Spanish group that was very active in the 90s, well, relatively active in the 90s. Unique doing a demo again. Haujobb came back to the active scene and also did this really cool Signals demo. Iphedrina collaborating with Loonies here to do Knackzilla, The Profundis, collaboration with Lemon, Oxygen, and the Deadliners. Really good demo, really good graphics in it as well. And the winner, Eon by the Black Lotus, which was killer. Something that you doing stuff on the Amiga that is not supposedly possible. And it's very interesting. This demo is very cool, not just because it was pushing the capabilities of the Amiga, but because it takes of the original OCS ECS Amiga, but because it does things that would not be technically possible done 90 years ago. And it features references like smartphones that were not happening in 90 years. So it feels like it's a 2000s demo, has that vibe, that feeling, that storytelling of a more recent demo, but it pushes old technology. So it's really cool modern demo making, and in terms of technical achievements there were some great write-ups about that, so I'm not going to go too extensively into it. Hoffman did a great job with the music, and he needed to do some trickery to make sure that the music did all that it could do. He did a great video about that. In terms of technical stuff or what you could do, all the different graphics being overlaid. It does things that need to juggle memory around to be able to have space for all of that, doing tricks to make sure that you reach the full frames per second. A lot of very good trickery going on this, very good technical achievement. Got a lot of praise for that, and it was a clear winner at the compo, like won by over 300 votes, or nearly 300 votes. Really good competition, can't say it enough. I really enjoyed watching this live at Revision. The next year, unfortunately, was 2020, and it was a pandemic year, so still a lot of participation considering it was the pandemic, but the quality was slightly lower. We did have some good entries though. Some entries from Void, which have some relatively new members to the Amiga, but they're still pretty active, which is cool to see. Decadence with an invitation for the Boozerdrome event that they organize. Faking It Old School by Paradontax. I guess it's a spin-off from Paradox, I'm not sure. More Void intros, nah-kolor entry, they also do a few. Titan doing something for the Amiga as well, which is not very common. They usually target other platforms. Flex, which is a collaboration between some F-Drena people, which also very cool. They got second place. I think it's a collaboration between F-Drena people. And then winner, Chillobits by Offense. And Offense is traditionally a Commodore 64 group. And they started doing Amiga stuff, which was a step that in the 80s and early 90s was very common to see. Commodore 64 groups, suddenly the members buy an Amiga because Amiga has more processing power, and you see the transition of the group going from the Commodore 64 to Amiga. Offense took a few more decades to do that transition, but they finally managed to do it. So in another 20 years, I'm thinking they'll maybe do an Amiga AGA demo, or even go crazy and do a PC entry. But the really cool thing about this demo in particular is that it has a lot of the design elements that you see in a Commodore 64 demo, in terms of the elements creeping up into a scene, and then they go out, and then they fade in, and they transition into something else. And on a Commodore 64, you need to be very careful about that because of all the machine limitations that you have. And Amiga sort of evolved throughout the years for more of a mega demo sort of concept. Of having multiple things, separate scenes happening. This scene, that scene, that scene, and not as much of a smooth transition in between them showing the different effects. So it is an Amiga demo, but very much like with the style of a Commodore 64 demo. And that's what really made it stood out and why people really liked it. I think that's the reason, at least in my humble opinion. In my common mortal PC demo senior opinion, that's why people liked Chillobits of Offense in 2020. The next year, 2021, we had also quite a few interesting releases. Void doing something as usual. Desire and Moods Plateau did a collaboration. Ham Eager by Platon 42. And I have to talk about this because I always get shit from Platon for not mentioning his demos. He does everything on the ham. I have no clue what the ham is. He tried to educate me a little bit. And if you know Amiga, you know that the ham is a very specific, unique thing. Mostly people just use it to have extra colors available. And Platon 42 tried to make these demos specifically just abusing ham trickery. So he did some stuff that shouldn't make sense to be done using the ham technology, and that's what he focused on. The demo is very ugly. I don't like it because of that, but in terms of technological achievement, it has a lot of interesting concepts behind it that only if you're like a dedicated Amiga coding nerd, you really can value the things out of that. Clearly, the voting people were not enlightened about the ham technology, so they didn't vote it very high. But after reading the write-up, I do agree with him that it's a very interesting demo in terms of the technological achievements that you could do with the thing that I mean, this looks like an AGA demo, but it's targeting the OCS ECS because it's using the ham. On the AGA, you have more colors available than the OCS ECS. On the OCS ECS, you need to use the ham trickery to get those kind of color schemes, formats, whatever you say, that I'm probably saying it wrong. So yeah, really cool demo. I'm sorry I usually don't talk about your demo, Platoon. I hope this compensates. Offense did another OCS demo this year again. They only got 5th place, but it's really cool that they are active on the Amiga scene. nah-kolor did their usual demo. Noise also did a demo, Last Goat Standing. Melon Design were back in the scene. Melon Design is such an iconic demo scene name. They were active in the 90s, known for doing this very stylish demos, always using this font, which seems very much ripped from Bubble Bobble, but it's probably not. They always have this little color, this little logo on the corner. Lemon stole their name from Melon, or Melon stole their name from Lemon. One of those. There's always a feud between them. And the colors that they pick, the color scheme that they pick is always very attention to palette, like a very... let's go, like using pastel colors instead of aggressive colors or high contrast colors. They always have this very clean look and feel, but also some very good effects behind it. Like if you see a Melon demo, it stands out from everything else. And they used to be very famous back in the day when Crystal was like one of the top ripping groups. Melon were the ones who were doing the crack intros for Crystal, or collaborating a lot on that, and they became very famous, I think also partly because of that. And I love their PC demos, and it's great to see them active again and doing some stuff again on the Amiga scene. So Fisher Hawk Drive, really cool to see. And then the Martini effect. Flex, people from Ephedrina, and not just Ephedrina, doing this really cool Amiga AGA demo, had this very good use of fractals, stuff that you couldn't do in the 90s, and they can only do it with today's modern computing stuff. Really cool demo, really enjoyed it. So yeah, pretty solid Amiga compo considering it's a pandemic year. I think the quality was really quite good. And then 2022, last year, quality not so good. Comparing the previous years, I think people got a bit burnt out from all the pandemic stuff. They didn't bring their A game. Newcomer release by Dreamwaller's Caps. I think it's a joke production by a person doing a joke. It's clearly unpolished. It has some memes in it. Money Crack Throw from Void. Void's still doing some of their regular productions, which is really cool to see. Hope they increase in terms of quality for this year and place a little bit higher. Laxative Effects. I have no clue who they are, but it's a really cool group name. What you gonna do? I'm gonna call my group something that makes you shit yourself. I'm gonna call it Laxative Effects. Because I can. So Extreme Boost by Laxative Effects getting 2nd place. And in 1st place, Soul Strain from a group that I never heard of. I think they are Spanish. But they had this very nice, I want to say 80s. I think it's 80s Soul Train vibe going on it. The colors were very well picked. They had some nice animations on it. So very nice little demo. It wasn't very long, but it nailed down the character, what's it called? The concept. The concept was really well put together and tight. So yeah. Amiga compo, a little bit on the stump from the usual. I'm very much curious to see what it comes up to be this year, in particular 2023. Very much looking forward to seeing the Amiga demo compo on the big screen again and shouting Amiga! And people tell me COVID is still a thing, don't shout because you might be spreading corona. But yeah, I'm excited about the Amiga demo compo. I love seeing it. I never did an Amiga demo. I never owned an Amiga, but I really enjoyed the compos and I really love the demos behind it. So I hope you're as excited as I am, in the very least 60% as excited as I am for the Amiga demo compo, because I hope it's going to be ace, and I think it's going to be ace, and let's take a look. Anyways, that's it for this video. Had to record a few more. I'm stressing out because we only have 1 week until the party. Let's go, revision, let's go.